Guys, I want you to know, I didn't even think for a second that I would live long enough to collect this Social Security tax they've been taking out of my paychecks and stuff for over 40 years. As a matter of fact, when I went down to file for my Social Security, we had a big problem. Well, that ain't anything that's not normal. I'm moving this one heater out, it's getting hot. But that's nothing that isn't normal when it comes to me and the government. Nothing that is out of place if there ain't a major problem. The thing of it is, folks, you guys don't understand. The problem I'm dealing with today in my 60s, I caused when I was 18 years old. And I'll tell you what, guys, this will even tell you at what year I was living down in West Palm Beach, Florida. This will tell you the first year. Now, I lived there for almost 5 years. And a couple of times I was down there during the winter, when it was winter up in Indiana, and then I'd come back when it was summer, and then I did that a couple of times. And then my whole family, my mom, my dad, everybody moved to Florida, West Palm Beach, Florida, at a certain point. Now, I went in. Wait a minute. No, the first time I went down to Florida I was basically told I couldn't go back to school. I couldn't go back to the Greenwood High School for any reason. So I had family members that lived in Tennessee, my cousins, my uncle, my nephew, or not my nephews, but my cousins and my uncle. They lived down there. And so I went down there because I couldn't go to school. It was cold and stuff up there in Indiana, Greenwood. So I shot my tail end down to Florida in my car. Well, I was down there for a few months, and I had to change my license from Indiana to Florida. Listen up. This was back before all the computer stuff, folks. There was no computers in 1980. There were no computers. If they were, I'm telling you, you guys wouldn't even believe the stuff they were. And I knew what they were because my mother worked with computers. I went down. It made me mad because the year I decided to move to Florida, they changed the drinking age to 19. You had to be 19 years old. 18 was no longer the drinking age. Folks, I moved down there a year too soon. So, I wanted to be able to go on the bars and drink. I was living in Florida. That's what you do. So, I took my birth certificate. Did a little messing around on the number of the year that I was born and drawed it back in to make me 1 year older. 1 year, folks. 1 year older. Because at 18, when I moved down there, I couldn't drink in a bar. But if I was 19, I could drink in the bar. I did that with a birth certificate in like 1980. Folks, this has now followed me all the way to the year that I decided to sign up to get my money back with Social Security. My money I paid in. You know, it's awful funny. They claim I paid in $200,000, $300,000, and I'm barely getting penny for penny back. But these politicians, they can make billions off of the $175,000 a year paycheck they make because they're so better at investing my money that they took from me. They took from me. That money, they took it from me. And they didn't care how I'm getting pennies on the pennies in retirement. I'm getting that. What do you people think you're going to get? Now listen to me. When I was 18, they changed the law to 19. If you lived in Florida, you could drink in a bar at 19. I took and changed a document. And when I got my Florida driver's license, I was 1 year older. Nothing else different. Just 1 year older. Today, in 2026, I'm trying to file for my Social Security money. And there's a problem. They think I'm older than I am. Folks, I was either a genius or these people are just stupid. Because not only my driver's license says I was born in 1963, my birth certificate says I was born in 1963. All my handgun lifetime carry, concealed, open, however I want to carry, that has a 1963 date on it. But the government, who controls Social Security, they say I was born in 1962. I was like, hey, look, I'm good with that. You will owe me more money. Well, we can't have that. We can't have it. So that's why I'm up here. Social Security Department, trying to get this fixed. I want my money back that y'all took. Folks, any of you guys that were born during the computer years, you can't do anything Back when I was born, if I got in trouble in one state, all I had to do was drive 100 yards or 100 miles, 200 miles, and be in another state. They didn't communicate with each other. They didn't have computers and all that stuff. I knew that. I just didn't know this stuff was going to come bite me on the butt in my 60s. And the funny thing about it, I didn't even think I'd live as long. And the doctors didn't think so as well either. They told me I'd be dead 4 or 5 years ago. They're all wrong. I had to prove it to them. I've gotten away with many things. Because Jesus been watching over me. I suggest you seek Jesus. If you don't, well, that's on you. But me, I've gotten away with many things. And no one can prove it until I admit to it. And I'm hoping that what do they call that? Statutory of limitations or what? I hope that's off. I mean, it's been 40 years ago when I done this, but I think it's funny. I asked them, "Oh, so this has been like this all my life? This is you guys thinking I'm a year older?" And they said, "No, because you didn't get your Social Security card until you was 13 years old, 1976. So, most of you guys have had a Social Security number since the day you was born or the week anyway. I was 13 years old before I got one. Guys, I'm telling you, they've taken so many freedoms away from me. And I got to fight this stuff. God love you. I love you. If you're evil, I suggest you seek Jesus. Even if you're not, if you don't know him, you better seek him. Because times are coming. Truth is coming with it.